they're going through, what are some words of inspiration that you can give them to basically help move them on? Some words of encouragement.
Let me see. Well, for the most part, I would say that don't dwell on one thing that you love to do. I would say just try to explore into certain things. Get out your comfort zone. That's all I would say, because like if you get out your comfort zone, you never know what you can run into. You never know what things you can experience, and you never know who you can meet.
I'm telling you.
If you just stay in your little box, which is artist block, you won't be able to go anywhere. You have to explore and get out your comfort zone and just experiment. Just experiment. That's all I can. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Yes.
Things that you put together to make it art, other than just a paintbrush, a digital pad with a Apple pen, or a plain piece of paper with a pencil or a pen. There's other things you can do that's out there to be creative other than those three things.
So good. Wait, that was so good. Artists, creatives, and designers. I'm your host, Electra, and welcome to Dream Aloud Art, where we have educating, inspiring, and motivating conversations with creatives from around the world. Show some love and support by subscribing, liking this video, and uplift another creative by sharing this video. Let's tune in to another amazing conversation. Let's go. Oh, here we go. Artists, creatives, and designers, welcome to Dream Aloud Art on YouTube. And you already know what time it is. We have another special artist here today, the one and only Dora the artist. But some of y'all may not know her as Glendora, but that is her name. So Glendora, and of course, make sure you click the links in the description. But Glendora is known as Dora the artist on Instagram, and she's an artist at heart who does traditional drawings in her own style. And she's a painter and a digital artist, and she's well on her path to becoming a full-time artist. She wants to inspire and uplift humanity with the work that she does. Welcome, Dora. Welcome, girl.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be such a good conversation, y'all, because honestly, in this moment, I can't quite pinpoint how me and Dora actually connected, but of course we did connect on the gram, and her work is extremely intriguing, which stay tuned because I'm going to pull up some of her work and she's going to tell us about it. She's going to tell us about her characters and other things that she's just getting into. All right. So Dora, it's so good having you.
You as well.
Yes. And of course, I am loving your shirt because number one, the main thing about her shirt is that that's her character. What's the character's name?
Her name is Splat.
Splat, right?
Yep, Splat.
Oh, snippity snap, y'all. Okay, yeah, we're going to look at her work and you will get the spill on that. I'm trying not to bounce around because as much as like I really do, I'm like, ooh, tell us about Splat. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait, we have to get to know Dora. We have to know her a little more about her history, her journey, and more before we get into the art, because that is the foundation. That's the foundation of our conversation, is who is Dora? So tell us a little bit about your first introduction to what you do now, perhaps, or your first introduction to actually starting to create, whichever is most relevant and important for you to share.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the now.
Okay.
So basically, I've been just wanting to about like a couple of years back, I'm just going to say about 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
I started doing painting and drawing because I didn't really want to work my 9-to-5 job. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how can I make this a better living situation for myself? So I'm like, I could just do art. Why not? So I rekindled the art back in 2019. I recently started working at a grocery store and a bakery as a cake decorator. I got kind of little jacks of trays of myself.
I love that.
Spraying creativity where I go. So I'm still working there currently, 4 years. Um, and as of now, like I just want to have this sense of trying to get whatever I can. Certain things that comes to mind that I want to create. Sorry if I'm all over the place, but
no, that's okay. I mean, just what's most important is honestly just speaking from your heart and whatever is just coming to you. So with you sharing that, and of course, I want to remind you, a lot of artists that tune in, that listen, your experience, and I say this with love, but your experience in certain ways is not unique. So what I mean by that is the basic information that you share with us. There's a lot of artists who are working their full-time jobs. They're working at jobs they love. They're working at jobs they feel so about. They're working at jobs they don't really care about, whatever that, you know what I'm saying? So like it's shared. It's a shared experience. Of course, your journey is unique, but the practical, functional things that you're doing in your life, a lot of us experience. I've experienced that, and I'm happy to share, that, hey, I was working my job for 18 or working into my most recent position for 18 and a half years. Like everyone's walk is different, and your story is unique in that way. Your walk, your journey is yours and only yours. So yeah, it's all good. And I bet you there are other artists working at a bakery too. So it is what it is. And you know what? With that being said, for your more recent experience, what about when you were younger? What did that look like? When did you discover that you had some kind of interest in art?
Well, honestly, it all started when I was 11 years old. I really didn't know I had that talent. It just developed. What sparked it was I was watching anime when I was younger at that age. And I basically fell in love with that in the Japanese culture. So it kind of put me in the interest of wanting to pick up a pencil, get a piece of blank paper, and just start doodling. And I just kept practicing at it for a good couple of years until I got into elementary school. I got into an art class, and it was a whole bunch of stuff that my art teachers was just like so intrigued at the fact that I had this potential of a skill that I can, adapt to more. And as I was getting older in my teenage age, I will print a lot of anime off the computer and, grab pieces of, what I want to say, things that intrigue me and wanted to create it in my own way. Sometimes I need something to start an idea, and I just grab bits and pieces from other places and just put it together and make it into my own. So I never run into an artist block, if I can say. Basically.
Oh my God.
I basically have a lot of ideas that, I can't never just not have an artist block on, because like if I'm just creative, like with my hands, I'm gonna just say in a sense. So
I love that. That was such a gem. That's such a gem. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish, Dora. I'm gonna let you finish, girl.
The funny part throughout the 5 years of now, I was making jewelry on the side. I was making little charm bracelets and little necklaces. I actually have some here if you want me to present it real quick.
Okay. Can you just reach for it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my goodness, y'all. Wait, did y'all catch that? I had to actually write that down. She basically never has artist block, or like, how is that? Oh my goodness. What?
Yeah. So I created it like 2 years ago, and it got to the point where none of this stuff ain't selling. So what I do, and I'm a hoarder. That's a secret. Don't tell nobody. I'm a hoarder when it comes to a whole bunch of things. I'm an art supply hoarder.
Art supply. That seems to be a common theme. It really is.
I like to recycle things that comes to mind that I can put on the canvas or anything. Like I said, I don't have artist block.
Right. But you know what? I had to jot that down, Dora, about not having artist block because, or, some artists say artist block, creative block, but it's the same. It's one and the same. So that's really a twist on the idea of having the block, because like, we'll just say an artist is primarily doing oil paintings, right? And maybe in that moment of doing the oil paintings, or early in the draft stages, or coming up with, the concept, they may have the block. But what can open that up is if they're exploring their creativity in another fashion. So it's not like it's closed. And the idea of block is like this solid block that's preventing a flow, when all it could mean is to just redirect their focus in the meantime. That's so good, girl. I don't think you know how much of a gem that is. Like, I'm gonna start sharing that. I'm just gonna reference.
I have a whole bunch of stuff to share, but I don't want to take up the whole time that we had together. I don't want to be all day.
But that was good. That's where I'm at with it. That was just really good. So you're very hands-on and creative in a lot of different ways. So, but you really put some energy when you were toward the feeling gravitated to the Japanese culture, specifically with anime. So was it more so in the past few years, like you started off talking about, where you decided to give more of your focus to your characters, or have you developed were you developing characters when you were younger?
So honestly, I really didn't start developing my own art style until like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Because when I was younger, I just been drawing a whole bunch of the Japanese anime style. And I never thought to do any of my own art style when I was younger. But now, like, since I got on Instagram, been on Instagram for 5 years, and seen a whole bunch of, and that's another thing that I've been doing. I've been surfing on so many artists' Instagram pages where they have unique characters. And I'm like, that is beautiful. So that also gave me inspiration to find my own art style. I mean, I know I use a little of the Japanese culture, but with my own twist to it, with the eyes. Basically, I got the idea with the eyes, probably from me, because I insert myself into my art pieces. So, especially for this one that I got on.
Yes. Once you said that, I was looking at Splat on your shirt. I was like, wait, the eyes. I'm looking now. And I think that's really critical to highlight about drawing inspiration from other artists and the characters that they create, because it connects to even what you were saying about hoarding art supplies, or just being very crafty and resourceful by using what you have. But also when it comes to looking at other work out here, you're pulling inspiration and you're being resourceful with it and coming up with your own style in the process of that. So there's something really beautiful about that. I think that's wonderful. The key, as you're mentioning, Dora, is to draw the inspiration.
Yes.
It's simply just draw the inspiration. And for myself as a watercolor floral artist, of course I do, a lot of other things, but I keep going back to watercolor floral. It seems like, I don't know what it is, but I just keep going back. Yeah, it's like we one and the same. We're twin flames. Like, that's just how it is. But I can definitely relate, because I can look at a lot of styles, but I will ask myself, how can I, or do I feel like I'm actually wanting to draw from that? Or am I pulling a little bit of comparison game? And, I have to know when to put that down and say, okay, I actually really enjoy the brush that they used, or the color palette they use. It's not, the other kind of judgmental ping pong kind of things going on. It's really just saying, you know what, I kind of like that. And I kind of like that. And that's really good. I think we have to give ourselves permission as artists to do that, to actually look and be inspired, for sure. So what were things like for you? Did you wait? Well, now I'm just asking this just for informational purposes, but did you focus on, like, did you get like formal education? And did you like focus for years on a subject? And if you didn't, then you just didn't. But what did your focus look like for developing? I know you were talking about developing your skill, and for some, and including myself, I went through formal education, but what I'm doing now is not what I went to college for. So, so it's all good either way. But what did your focus look like? Did you have formal training? Did you take a class or anything like that? Or this is all Dora?
So basically, I'm going to start from the beginning. So when I was self-taught, like I said, when I was younger at the age of 11, then when I went into grammar school, we had an art class, and I took that class, which is abstract art.
Oof.
Just anything, mixed media. That's the reason why I said that I'd be doing I'm a jack of trades of doing cake decorating, charms, painting, drawing, digital art. Honestly, but it also takes the certain patience and the willpower to do those things. So it's tricky. Not everybody can do it, but I'm just lucky I was blessed with that type of unique gift to do it.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And when I got to high school, I did took up another art class, which taught us digital art, which is I learned on Photoshop, just the basics. And then after I graduated out of high school in 2010, I went on to art college. I went to the Illinois Institute of Art Chicago for 2 years and a half.
Okay.
I went in for animation, 3D media arts and 3D animation. I didn't like it because it was something that I was assuming that I was going to get into, like drawing, painting, doing, the stuff. And it got to the point where it was something that I didn't expect to get into the general education classes. I'm like, I got to take this again. I thought I was done with that from grammar school in high school, but I guess when you go to college, you got to take those too. I'm like, so animation was a no-go for me. I couldn't sit up at the computer for 10 hours straight.
Girl, it's so serious with animation. And I tried it. I'm right there with you. And it was not a vibe for me.
I'm like I couldn't do it. I'm going to just stick to the paper and just.
Yes.
And so I switched that major to illustration, and illustration. I have fun with that.
Good.
I learned storyboarding, color theory, life drawing. For the life of me, I couldn't stand that class.
What is it called?
Life drawing.
Life drawing? What is that?
Is that they take a new model, an actual new model of either a female or a male, and what we would do, we had to use charcoal or pencil and just do realistic drawing, the anatomy, close-up, different perspectives, and all that stuff.
Right.
It's not that the fact that I love the class, it's just that the fact that it was something that I was not used to, that I didn't want to do because, oh my God, I suck at anatomy. Because that's the reason why I like doing my own art style. I like to be free with it.
Tell me, look, I dare you to try to make me draw some hands. Oh no. It's not and then charcoal. Oh, you crazy. We're not talking. We're not having that conversation.
Oh yeah.
So I give a lot of props to anyone who really, and I will say, looking at your drawings, and we'll touch bases on this, but your most recent one of Lizzo, so you draw her hands in a particular way, but it's in your way. It's not like that kind of drawing class where the goal is to be as precise as possible with the shading and the, contouring, and just, I get it. Just hear me. Boy, you just took me down memory lane on that one. It's like, oh my gosh, I remember just drawing circles where the feet are and just not wanting, just let me just do a little sketch.
I still have to do it.
Girl. Okay, that's much respect, I gotta say. So in the midst of you exploring your creativity in these different ways, and this is something that really hits home and why a lot of artists dive into my content is because they are running across their own challenges when it comes to the desire to express and actually let people know they're an artist, the desire to change mediums without judgment of people who know them for doing this one thing over here, and then they want to change and do something different. So in the process of you exploring your creativity, going to school, or whether that's when you know, were growing up, or even in the now, what have some of the biggest challenges been for you, just on that creative journey and the desire to express yourself the way you want to?
Well, I know that I can't always express myself as much as I would love to, but sometimes I had to get out my comfort zone because I've been looking into doing missions. I haven't done as many, but I learned through having the minimum of commissions that I've done so far was like 3.
Okay.
And actually, I take that back because I did a painting on a canvas, so 4.
Okay.
So, if anything, doing something that's not in your comfort zone and you step out of it, it's frustrating. It is really frustrating. And there's been times, even I give myself enough time trying to finish these commissions because I'm still starting off. It's brand new to me. And it's just that the fact that I'm still learning as I go. And as I learn, I pick up, you know, techniques and whatnot. And it gets to the point where like, okay, I got this. And another pet peeve that I have, and I think most artists have this, is time. When you know when a piece is done. You never know as an artist when a piece is done. It's all about feel. And it gets to the point where like when I like this commission that I'm doing right now, I'd be like, is it done? I don't know. So I'd be like, I just be like beating myself up and I'm trying not to. So it gets to the point, the only way I will surely know if the piece is complete if I present it to the client, honestly. And it gets frustrating when you get clients that want to adjust things or in the color. Clients don't really know what they're getting when it comes. I mean, they do sometimes if they did a little study, but like this client I have, he basically gave me like 3 colors and he didn't want white. And it got to the point where I had to, you know, I had to break the rules and add a little white to it. Yeah. That way, because I know my knowledge of doing certain things, if you want certain, you know, a project done correctly. I don't want to give you anything that's, you know, willy-nilly and, you know, crappy. Like, even if the price that I said it, I feel like, you know, it should be done the way how it's supposed to be done. Yes. So, when I presented the piece to him, he said he liked it, but it was just that he questioned, like, you know, the color. But I had to explain to him on the artistic knowledge of, you know, why it has to be like that. Yeah. So it got to the point where he was just okay with it and he trusts my judgment and whatnot. So if anything, I was like relieved. I'm like, okay, cool. And that's the reason why I broke away from that commission and did the Lizzo portrait. Yes. I'm like, I need to be free. Absolutely. And that's you're so right. That is a big challenge that artists do have to face, and they can relate to that because when it comes to commission piece, it's now a collaboration pretty much, unless that, not even unless, but if your client actually agrees to give you 100% creative control, then you've gotten a cosign for you to have that creative control. I know that was something really big for me when I was doing digital art, was to say up front, or at least present it up front and say, well, if I'm going to work on a project, then I need creative control. And if we're going even deeper with it, the reason they come to you is typically from work that you
you created, you actually, no input, your own input, your own download of what you should do, or your own knowledge, information, whatever, your own history, experience. They saw that, perhaps, of course, they may have seen another commission piece or something, but a lot of times they just see the work that you've created and they're like, ooh, maybe, is it possible for you to do something that I can collaborate with you on and pay you to do? But yeah, I feel like sometimes there's that, the idea of limitation. And then when you're limited, then there's, like you just mentioned about the Lizzo portrait, then there's the desire to get back to the unlimited, the desire to be free, the desire to do this how you want to do this. It's still there. It's still there. So yeah, that's really good. I'm glad that you shared that. What are some, and it's all good. I always say that it's all good if you haven't come across this, but it is something that is plaguing the mentality of a lot of creatives out here. But what have you experienced when it comes to the approval or co-sign of others in the work that you create? Have you had challenges with that, or has it pretty much been you've gotten some support? And even if you've gotten support, that's important for artists to hear about too, is what that support has looked like.
Well, I have been getting some support. It's not as much as I would like for it to be. As far as like from my family, I don't really get that much, but I do from the people that's on Instagram that really takes genuality of a liking to my art piece. And shout out to them. And without them, other than my family members, they're like family still, like Instagram followers. They're like family. If anything, I really appreciate them for actually liking my work and following me, and on this journey for me to to get to that goal that I want to be, not only just a full-time artist. I want to be a little bit more than that. It's just that the fact that I feel like I am put on a purpose on earth just to do more, just to do art, but to inspire and, get other people to do things that they never expect to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things that I wanted to do, when I get to the point of being a full-time artist, I would like to sell my work on merchandise and whatnot. And if I make a little good, decent amount of funds, I would like to actually travel around the world, and not only just for the fun of it, for vacation or anything, but to meet artists like you in person and get to, know you on a personal level, and the other people that follow me on Instagram or any other social media platforms of my work. And get to know one-on-one and what they like to do and whatnot, and network and just chill and have fun.
Absolutely. And so connecting to getting support, and then linking to what you were saying about Instagram, and having a lot of support from, followers and just people in general, their response to your work or sharing your work, things like that, taking all of those actions is a wonderful means of support, So it's something, a lot of, or those who actually call themselves artists, a creative or a designer in any capacity. It's something that can be pretty tough sometimes, if you don't have the co-sign from those that are closest to you, then it can feel like, am I just standing alone here? Like, what's going on? Like, okay, y'all, okay, I know what I'm doing may not be your vibe, but it is for me. And I get that. I understand that. And then also spending time, when you go to work, if you're not working in an environment that embraces the creativity, that can also feel like a big hindrance. It really can. And
there's been times when my manager, sometimes I be I'll make this short and sweet. There be times with my manager, she likes the work that I do, but it's basically more important to get production out quick than try to get creativity and whatnot. But I like to make customers happy, and not only just to create, just to get it out and get the money, but it's all about making the client at the end of the day happy. The same way how I do digital art, painting, or drawing for a client is the same way how I'm going to portray that and put that towards my main 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
And do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's still customer service. I mean, they still paying me, but it's not the pay that I want, sadly.
Right. But yeah.
I still hold that standard of the customer service that I give.
Yeah, that's critical. And I'm definitely relating. And I was told at my job that there was no room for creativity, and I didn't, I was like, oh, okay.
No, it is.
Yeah. They're like, there's no room for creativity here. And so when that was communicated with me, I simply, I'm very mindful of inner dialogue. I'm very mindful of that because that's still energy. And so to, wish them the worst is not helping me. You know what I'm saying? So I heard them audibly. So it's like, okay, I hear you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert creativity in my own way. For that person, their definition of creativity, they may be thinking of like painting or something. And they're absolutely right. We don't do that there. Okay. Like that's their idea, but I have my own idea of what it means to be creative. And I'm going to do that anyway, so I get it. Trust and believe. I remember when I was working in the produce department, stocking fruits and vegetables and all of that. Right. I wrote my name and the date in cursive on an order slip. Somebody had ordered a fruit tray and I wrote my name because, I had to write my name because I took the order. I wrote it in cursive and I wrote it beautifully. Right. Like you, I can do a lot of really wonderful things, and calligraphy was something that I embraced. So I wrote my name, full name, and the date on it. Tell me why I got called to the office. I got called to the office. I got called to the office and my supervisor asked me, she said that I don't have time to like, we don't have time pretty much to dedicate to drawing. But for me, see, in her head, that might have taken her a lot of time, right, to do, but not for me. So I understood where she was coming from because to her, it looks complicated, but for me, it wasn't. It's just writing my name. It just took like no time. So people have different ideas of what it looks like or what creativity looks like. And so
she was hating.
She was. Let's just keep it real. She was definitely hating. And the thing about it is that a coworker showed her the slip. And she showed her the slip and then my supervisor entertained it. And it's like, why do you entertain that? Don't we have other things to talk about besides me writing in cursive?
You call me into the office just because of this little thing and it's not about my work ethic. I mean, it's like at my work or is customers doing complaints? No. I'm like, let me be me. Let me do me.
I love how you were responding this moment, because that's exactly what I was thinking at that time. I was like, is this what we're doing? Is this what we're doing right now? But all in all, what you're experiencing, and I want to encourage my listeners to, and if you're on the podcast, make sure you click the links in the description on the podcast, and make sure you come to the YouTube video so you can watch as we go over some of Dora's art. But again, I want to encourage y'all, especially if you're a listener who is currently at a job that maybe you're not like the biggest fan about. But number one, it is providing a certain foundation for you to financially be prepared. You're also learning a lot of business skills while you're there. So I want to put some light on that. And you're also building a library of content and stories to be able to share with another artist who is going through exactly what you're going through right now. When you make it to the other side and, as a full-time artist, you will be able to reflect on what you've experienced and be able to tell that artist, I've been there, like, I get it. I've been there. And it hits different when you can connect on that level. So I love that. Girl, Dora was like, is this what we're doing now? Like, I know, girl. Yes. It's like, call me back when it has something to do with my performance. Call me back in the office. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into some of your artwork here.
Yay!
Some of it, and well, actually, I'm scrolling back a little further because I would like for you to expand on Splat and your characters. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I was scrolling back so I can actually pull up Splat. So again, if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you check out the YouTube video and you check out Dora's link so you can see the work that we are going over today. So what can you tell us about Splat?
So the idea of Splat basically came from my own little persona, that the fact that even though I am a jack of all trades of certain traditional media, of different mixed media of art. So with Splat, I kind of find myself a very more electrifying type of person. So basically, I'm trying to get everything together.
You got it, girl. You got it.
So basically, with Splat, I would say she's one of my sexy, electric, and type of artistic persona.
Got
and
you.
I like the way that I drew it out because it represents me with the ponytails. I love wearing my ponytails. I was gonna wear ponytails for this live, but I'm like,
it's all
I
good.
just wear the shirt. So, and then the green, the green basically it draws you in more, and it gives you. It's like mana energy. I know it's different colors, but green swings out the most. Green to me is like a little bit calm, smooth, but you never know where it could be bouncing off the walls somewhere.
Okay.
Just like mine. And and I just feel like it looks sexy on her, and it
right.
Her. So I think that's the color that I want to dye my hair next time.
Oh, really? Wait, go ahead.
And as for the eyes, after taking glasses off.
The eyes.
Yes. So basically, that's where I originally got my idea, because when I know I took the Japanese anime style, and I'm like, how am I supposed to change the eyes? Because they basically they draw anime eyes big, googly, in different colors and saturation hues and whatnot. And I'm like, how can I be different? So basically, I just started drawing circles, and I'm like, I can do that. That's basically it. I'm like, okay, got my original character.
Right.
So basically, it's the eyes for me, and sometimes it can be the little puffy hair afro, but I really admire the long, stringy, straight hair.
Got you.
A lot. So if anything, that's Splat.
So since this is a character that you created, are you putting together a group of characters? Is there something that you want to do with several characters, like the whole OCs and the original characters? Like, so for some of my creatives, and I was once there, I didn't know about any of this language with OCs, but is there something that you want? Is there somewhere you want to go with the characters, or you're just building characters for your own reference?
Well, in the most part, as of right now, I'm just building original characters until across a good idea and I can place them into a good idea. There was a time where I want to make a comic book.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to learn the ins and outs of how to start. But right now, I'm just developing characters. at the moment, and giving them personalities and giving them a name. So as I create these characters, I want to, do a little work study on what to name this character, because like I know it could be a bunch of people. Some artists probably don't do as much research of making a name for the character, but you want to give it some type of origin and a reason for this name, for the character for it to fit for the character.
Right.
And that's what I do for the last one, Freya. I was gonna wear her, but like I want to be a little more professional. Freya. I basically did her for a Valentine's event thing that, just to join in with the artist community for the holiday events, just to, draw out whatnot. So with Freya, I basically did a little research on her, looking up the meaning of the name. I'm like, so what name can I give her?
Wait, real quick, where's Freya? I don't know. Is she on your page? I would think so.
Oh, yeah. She's the one with the little heart. She's wearing a heart apron, laying down with her butt tooted up.
I don't. Did you post her recently?
I posted her like a couple of weeks ago. I think about 3 or it was around Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's Freya.
Yep.
Okay. Just so y'all know, that's Freya. I'm mindful of our viewers, but y'all make sure you go to her IG if you want more on Freya. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure we had a visual of Freya.
Basically I am very delicate when it comes to making characters, is to research on giving them a proper name and giving them a meaning to it and the story behind it as I create these original characters. So it's gonna probably be a point where I'm gonna pick one of those original characters and probably do a small little comic strip or something to collaborate. Maybe I'll do a crossover with one of the characters and interact with the other characters. But
I will say, I would like to just say something about the books and things like that, like the comic books and those different ideas. But I don't know if they already have something like this. I feel like they probably do anyway, somewhere out there. Maybe they call it something different, but something that is just really like a lookbook. Honestly, I mean, like I have a lot of books that I purchased that they're literally a lookbook. It has it has artwork. And it has a small little paragraph, what the artwork is about. And, we keep it moving. It doesn't necessarily have to have some kind of storyline. It's just a matter of observing and saying, oh my gosh, like I absolutely love this piece, So, but I mean, it's whatever works best for you, or you feel like your work is properly presented. That's what matters the most. I'd buy it. I'd buy a lookbook. Like, I like looking. So, yeah.
I think normally we call them, not the comic book, but I did originally want to do a adult coloring book with the art pieces that I create.
Okay, bookmark that. Bookmark that. Okay, awesome. So now that we've just touched bases on some of the characters, what made you want to come up with the Lizzo portrait?
I'm slowly getting into Lizzo because like I know most people didn't like Lizzo because how she portrayed herself sexually, but I'm pretty sure she don't mean to. But it's more how I take it, because me myself, I'm a bigger woman and I'm a BBW, so it's all about showing confidence. And that's what Lizzo been, all about, as I've been learning about her slowly and gradually listening to her music and seeing her present herself. I know she don't mean to, to put herself out there sexually, but it's all about showing BBW love and being okay with the skin you're in, no matter what size you are.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, y'all know, or most of y'all know, anything that I teach, it's rooted in being confident. Like, I could talk about 1,000 different things, but if your confidence has to be you have to have a healthy foundation of confidence. And that doesn't mean that yes or no, you have it. It's just the constant decision to be confident. Like it's a constant decision. Like it's not one decision and you're done. It's to constantly say, yes, I'm valuable. Yes, I'm worthy. Like, sometimes I talk about it in the form of price, increase your price. Like that's really to be translated to just increasing the idea of your self-worth, honestly. And so, yeah, I can definitely respect that. So I love this one. And again, to our listeners on the podcast, you have to get the visuals. You have to see what exactly we're talking about. So make sure you watch the YouTube video and click those descriptions or click the links that are in the description so you can learn more about Dora, the artist, and just see her journey, see where she's at with it, show some love, show some support.
If you're interested.
What's that?
I was going to say that I don't know if anybody is questioning about where did I get my artist name from, Dora the artist.
Well, share, do tell there's a story.
Okay. So when I was younger, oh my God, and you're going to laugh, but it's meant to be funny. So when I was younger, when I was in, I would say about 4th or 5th or 6th grade. Okay. This Nickelodeon Junior show came out.
Oh, snap.
And you know what I'm going with this.
Nick Jr.? Go ahead.
Dora the Explorer. I've been hearing that for the past 10 plus years throughout my grammar school years, my high school years, even college. What? But you know what? I learned how to accept it. But I did a twist to it. Since I'm a jack of all trades and I'm a hoarder, an artist hoarder, and I like to work on different mixed media, I said, Why not I just take Dora the Explorer and call myself Dora the Artist?
Dora the Artist, go ahead.
I do explore into different mixed media arts and, keep a lot of things and try to do abstract art with it on a canvas.
Yes.
So, that's where I got my little nickname from. So I'm like, Dora the Artist.
I love it. Good. I can't. Well, you had me right there when you said that people have been referencing Dora the Explorer, and I'm like, are you serious? Like what? Like y'all doing that on these screens? Is that what y'all doing? What?
Yep.
People are, I
really just learned to live with it. And you know what? I felt like it was a calling nickname for that reason up to today now, as of now. So I live with it and I still love to explore into new things.
Well, shout out to you, girl. I am with that. Go ahead on. So you got a good head on your shoulders. Go ahead, Dora. All right, girl. We have been rocking and rolling and everything is like, we are coasting along. So what are some words of inspiration that you can give an artist out here who just generally feels like they're having a hard time or they're struggling with whatever they're going through? What are some words of inspiration that you can give them to basically help move them on? Some words of encouragement.
Let me see. Well, for the most part, I would say that don't dwell on one thing that you love to do. I would say just try to explore into certain things. Get out your comfort zone. That's all I would say, because if you get out your comfort zone, you never know what you can run into. You never know what things you can experience, and you never know who you can meet.
I'm telling you.
If you just stay in your little box, which is the artist block, you won't be able to go anywhere. You have to explore and get out your comfort zone and just experiment. Just experiment. That's all I can. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Yes.
Things that you can put together to make it art, other than just a paintbrush, a digital pad with a Apple pen, or a plain piece of paper with a pencil or a pen. There's other things you can do that's out there to be creative other than those 3 things.
So good. Wait, that was so good, especially when the Holy Ghost came through on you, because Especially when the Holy Ghost came through, because you said about the comfort zone and staying in, you said that's that creative block. And so I'm repeating this so you can like really register with what you just said, because the creative block, it is like being in a box. It's a limitation. Oh, that was so good. I don't think some artists that are listening, I don't think they quite have looked at it that way. I know I haven't. Like an artist's block, not just being that solid block that's preventing the flow. It is a block, as though you are in a box, as though you have created a limitation.
Surrounding your creativity.
So good. Oh my gosh. Do I need to start tithing and sending my tithes to you? Like, I need to start sending like a weekly tithing. What the heck, girl? That was good. Okay, there's an artist that's listening right now, and they're gonna catch it. They're gonna catch it, and they're gonna be like, "That was life changing." Okay.
No, I gave y'all visual.
Podcasters, look, the YouTube video. Gotta watch the video. Gotta watch the video. I'm just saying. Okay, all right. So that was so good. I want to thank you before we move on to our word game, but I definitely want to thank you for everything that you have just been feeding us. You have literally been giving us the word. Like, this is food for the soul. You know what I'm saying? So that is awesome. And I want to also say this, because I have to say this. Whenever I do these interviews, like, there's something for me, I'm still learning, right? So I'm a teacher, but of course I'm still open to learning. And it happens every time during an interview that, the artist will drop, yeah, absolutely. And you'll drop a gem that really registers for me. And so, I literally take notes. Like I take notes, and I want to say that for some artists that could probably stand to have room to be more humble in themselves and understand that you don't know everything. It is impossible for you to know everything. So just be open to the lessons that you can learn from anywhere. It's just like catching inspiration from anywhere. If you're open and you believe that you can actually receive information from a multitude of places, you'll receive it. You'll receive it. So
let it manifest.
Yes. Dora just spoke over my life, y'all. Did y'all realize that? Like, she just spoke over my life. My gosh. All right. So it's, definitely been a heck of a vibe. So let's dive into the word game. And for my listeners, y'all know for years, I had actually had a specific word game where I call off one word and the artist being interviewed would respond with one word. Then I call off another word. Then, of course, the artist would call off another word. But this time it is like word ping pong. All right. So I call off the word. Dora will call off the word first word that comes to her mind. Then I will do the same. And then she'll do the same. It'll go back and forth. All right. So here we go. Let's dive into the subconscious of Dora. Okay. Because the first answer, I'm going to say it like my mom always says, first answer is the right answer. Okay. So this is a subconscious reference kind of game. Okay. So here we go. The first word, and I'm going to use a word that you actually said during your interview. So the first word is comfort.
Zone.
Manager. It's too early. Go ahead.
I said, you got me.
Oh no, it's too early. So I'm gonna wait. It was too early for us to end the game. So
and you said manager, right?
Manager, yes.
Manager position.
Position. Ariana
Grande.
Latte.
Frap.
You said what?
Frap.
Bean. BEAN. Bean, like coffee bean. But go ahead, bean.
It doesn't rhyme. I'm like, what rhymes with bean? Bean?
Bean? Wait. Okay, so I said bean. What do you have a word for me?
Steam.
Steam? Like STEAM.
Mm-hmm.
Sauna.
Donna.
What is it?
Donna, D-O-N-A.
Donna, oh, you're intentionally picking rhyme words?
Yep. We're going to go with that.
That's comedy. Cousin. I had a cousin named Donna. Or have a cousin named Donna. Mm-hmm.
Sauna?
Sauna again. Okay, heat.
Hey, you winning at this game.
Stop!
You said heat.
I'll let you get the last word.
Electrified.
Okay, y'all, listeners, give it up for Dora. I let her go ahead and just close. We're going to close out that game. That was hilarious. I love how you made the decision to pick words that rhyme. That was comedy, because then you're like, you were pausing because you're actually trying to find a word that rhymes. And that is so funny. And interviewees, y'all tell me that all the time. You're like, oh, you're so good at this game. And it's like, I'm not trying to be good.
One we got though, I got it right away.
Wait, which one? What was the first word? Oh, comfort.
You said comfort.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes. And you said zone. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I said manager because zone manager. And that comes from me working in my corporate job for so long. That was the reference I had, was a zone manager. So, but it was so funny. Your facial expression was priceless. You're just like, oh, you got me.
Video.
You got me. I got for real. What happened? Okay, Dora. So, who do you want to give some shout outs to, show some love to before we close it out?
I can't say all the names, but I'm just going to say as a whole, I like to give a shout out to my Instagram followers, the genuine ones, the one that shares my work, the one that likes the work, the one that gives me positive comments, and like to always stay tuned to see my daily, weekly content. Got to get a shout out to them.
Yes.
And to my other family members that do support me, even though it's not a lot, but I would like for them to do more. Shout outs to them, and shout out to you, Electra, for having me on this live.
Yes, it is a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I never get on an interview with someone I don't want to talk to. Trust and believe. I have to say that. I'm just saying. Yeah, there has to be that shared interest, and if I'm being honest, the shared admiration. So I love the work that you do. Keep moving forward with it. Keep standing true to the work you really want to produce, because the work you really want to produce will hit the people who really want to see it. Like that's what matters. Definitely. So Dora, it has been a pleasure. So I'm going to say, me and Dora are going to say bye to our viewers, and we're going to stick around for a couple more minutes. Okay. So bye. Love y'all.
Bye.
Creatives, it has been both a pleasure and an honor to have you sit in on our conversation today. So will you be the next artist interviewed? Visit respecttheartist.com/artist-interviews to learn more. And hopefully I'll see you soon. RTA stands for Respect the Artist. Love y'all.